Oh, hello there. Yes, well out of Wigstut into mid-weakness beckoning, as it inevitably does, in that alluring way that only says Wednesday to me. Anyway, yes, well, we're starting to see the shape and form of an incoming Trump presidency, aren't we? Yes. It's a bit strange because having sworn blind that he didn't have any particular plans for his new presidency, he appears to be hitting the ground running in terms of a plan for next year, 2025. One might almost think it was some sort of project of his, but of course it can't be Project 2025 because he said that wasn't anything he knew anything about whatsoever, and of course he wouldn't lie because he's a good Christian man. He wouldn't do that. Anyway, yesterday we definitely saw a few inklings. I was quite pleased with the notion that he's decided to basically defang, might come back to that particular phrase, the Senate and effectively undermine even Mitch McConnell. There will be no stops to his power. Not, of course, that he's an autocrat just interested in running the government as a dictatorship. You'd be totally wrong about that. But yeah, he wants to get rid of the checks and balances there are in the Senate. So they basically need to okay everything he does, preferably even without a vote. Saw various people yesterday suggesting that the votes for the senators should no longer be kept secret from the public. And to a certain extent, I would agree with that. But you can see the potential problem with it because people won't be allowed to vote with their conscience. Not particularly that American senators, particularly the Republican ones, have a particular conscience, obviously, but, it's a bit odd that, various absolutely rabid Republicans in the Senate are still not right-wing enough for an incoming Trump regime. Make of that what you will. I know what I make of it. Anyway, yesterday, we did have a sense of the kind of economics that we're likely to expect. I did like this from Cathy Wood of ARK Invest. We'll come back to that notion. Deregulation, defanging the SEC, FTC and others. Government spending cuts, making room for the private sector. Tax cuts and a focus on technologically enabled innovation are likely to turbocharge the US economy more powerful than during the Reagan Revolution. Yes, the Reagan Revolution. Remember the 80s, because I remember them very well about how great they were. You may remember the mass unemployment during the Reagan Revolution. And this, of course, is what the issue is, because all of those people that are salivating at the economic joys ahead, of course, are the people that always salivate at economic joys ahead because they never lose. Cathy Wood from ARK Invest. Do like the notion of the Ark. That's where a few people were saved, just a tiny handful of people who were saved from a global flood. Perfect metaphor. Yes, anyway, but let's unpack some of her stuff, okay? Deregulation, obviously, that's what you want, isn't it? Which means that some people won't have any regulations that safeguard them. That's good. Government spending cuts, making room for the private sector. Yes, you remember how well that worked during British austerity. Do you remember that? All those great Osborne plans to allow the private sector to rush in and give us all a good deal. Think water or anything else you fancy with the British economy. Yeah, tax cuts, naturally, a focus on technologically enabled innovation. That's Elon Musk for you. With the stuff underneath, just in case you're wondering, multi-omics is a basically sort of updated sort of gene biology stuff, just in case you're curious. Yeah, but you can see exactly where all of this stuff is leading. It's just basically all about the 0.1% and about making them an awful lot richer, because of course that's how we measure the joys in a new society, don't we? It's how well the kings are doing. Yeah. I know that there was all that plague stuff in the 1340s, but hey, the kings were still making a great deal of money, so that's the important thing that matters, isn't it? Yes. But of course all of this stuff is once again people playing fast and loose with our lives. Did like this yesterday from from Open Democracy. Trump's Project 2025 is already underway in Argentina and it's terrifying. Yes, you see, you do get stuff in on a British social media about himself in Argentina, but it doesn't tell you exactly what's going on out there. And basically the bottom third of the country are really suffering under his brilliant ideas. It will, of course, still be a brilliant idea, even after the army has had to step in and he has to go. Because, of course, the joy about all of these people and what they believe is, even when it doesn't go right, Liz Truss, it still isn't realistically anything to do with them. It's still because you, yes, I'm talking about you, haven't worked hard enough, or you, if you're a junior doctor or a teacher or a civil servant or just a communist, have basically undermined the whole thing. A la Liz Truss. Of course, yes. And of course, on this side of the pond, there have been various cheers for things that various people will like. I did have to smile yesterday at certain of our good friends of the channel, like Matt Goodwin, had this one. Trump just declared war on radical gender ideology, declaring he will ban doctors from transitioning children, ban gender ID from all federal agencies, stop taxpayer dollars being used for this, ban child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. Yes. Now, all of those things don't actually happen, but you might as well ban them, because Matt Goodwin won't tell you that they won't happen, and James Esses won't tell you that those don't actually happen either. But hey, that is our particular thing. And Trump will encapsulate all of those reactionary nastiness. So you can expect a lot more suicides on the horizon, combined with, deregulation. Love a suicide and a deregulation. So often they come together, don't they? Because, of course, there's no safety net anymore, because that's what regulation is. Still, I imagine that the private sector could step in there, because, of course, there's a great deal of money to be made, isn't there, from, stepping in, except of course you don't get to see any of it because somebody has to make a profit, don't they, from stepping in, which means that you just get less than you had before, but it costs a great deal more. Still, it'll be fine if you're a member of the 0.1%, methinks, eh? Yes. Still, what could go wrong? What could go wrong, for all the true believers out there? Because we all know that what we really need is deregulation and tax cuts, because after all of this money will trickle down, won't it? Won't it? Oh no, it won't, will it? No, because as various people do point out on a fairly regular basis, no, it doesn't. It doesn't trickle down. You might well be waiting, but you'll be waiting a long time. Still, never mind, just think how well off Elon Musk is going to be. That's the important thing. So long as he's happy, that's what we should measure. We should, get rid of GDP and just measure Elon's happiness index. But of course, he's always going to be miserable, because at heart, he is a miserable person, because his life isn't perfect enough, unfortunately. What are you doing to help him? Ask yourself that pertinent question. Anyway, enough of these ramblings. I'd better get on and get out. Yeah. Do have a lovely day, if you can, and whilst you can.